Kingdom.
Yeah.
Kingdom.
Welcome to the yeah.
Good morning. Hey, it's Conservative Cat on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. And here I am in studio. You guys can see me on Rumble, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's Conservative Cat Show on YouTube and Cities 92.9 on Rumble. We've got so much to cover today. So first, I want to talk about Chicago residents blasting the Biden-Harris administration for, of course, importing millions of illegal aliens. The Chicago residents are not happy. Next, I've got to talk about this mayor. Now, it's a city. It's called Surprise. Yes, Surprise, Arizona. So this happened in Surprise, Arizona. The mayor, his name is Skip Hall. He had a constituent that was arrested at a city council meeting for criticizing the city and expressing her First Amendment rights. He arrested her. Very, very tyrannical. We're going to get to that clip. Plus, Tim Walz caught in another lie. He's a lying little pissant, parasite, another lie. He's nothing more than a lying parasite. That's Tim Walz. And he lies about things that nobody should lie about. He lies about stupid things. Why does he do that? All right, I'll be right back. I'll get into all of these, and then I also want to get to Joy Reid. Joy Reid says that Barack Obama's economy was awesome, and then Donald Trump just was, riding on the coattails of Barack Obama, and that his economy was no good. So we're going to get to Joy Reid too. I like to call her Joyless Reid. There's also talk of this September 10th debate not happening because Kamala Harris is now trying to change the rules for the debate. And Donald Trump said, hey, if you're going to continue to go back on our agreement, then we're not going to have this debate. Donald Trump is a businessman. If you negotiate terms, you're going to stick to those terms. You don't get to move the goalposts. You don't get to change the agreement last minute. Really what they're trying to do, they know Kamala Harris is no good at debating. They know that she can't form two sentences together. So they're trying to get it to where Donald Trump has no option but to bow out of the debate because he's going to look weak if he agrees to the amended terms. You don't do that. You don't allow your opponent to amend the terms of the debate when they were already agreed upon. All right, we're going to get to all of that. The worst thing about the DNC, of course, was having the convention in Chicago. Uh, okay, that was the worst thing about the DNC. And it seemed that they were essentially mocking the residents having it in Chicago. I think they intentionally want to mock the residents who suffer the most. This is the murder capital of the nation. It's often referred to as the murder capital. I've told you the numbers. 1,800 people have been shot in Chicago since the beginning of this year. Plus, we're dealing with an alien invasion here in the state of Illinois and specifically in Chicago. And I think that they wanted the DNC there to really just mock the residents who live there and who are suffering under this alien invasion. So, additionally, any concerns raised by people suffering from this, they're not taken seriously, folks. The people who are upset or concerned about the alien invasion, they're never taken seriously. So much so that they label those people who take concerns with this racist, xenophobic, for voicing their opinions about the status quo. Hey, we've had closed borders. We've had sovereignty for years. Okay. And now this administration comes in and just opens them up. What's that all about? I don't like it. And then all of a sudden you're deemed racist or xenophobic. So no one knows these people better. The people suffering, nobody knows better than they do. So I'm going to take some time and play this clip of some Chicago residents blasting the Biden-Harris administration for importing these millions of illegals. Nobody knows it better than they do. Okay, so I don't care what Governor J.B. Pritzker says. I don't care if Mayor Brandon Johnson says that Chicago is the best city in the world. Uh, these people live in the city. So you'd think they'd know something about living in that city and about the alien invasion that's underway there. Let's take a listen here as a Chicago resident. I think I'm just going to play a couple of them. A couple of the Chicago, they're mainly Black Chicago residents. So let's take.
We're still pushing back. We don't want them here. The crime rate has gone up since they've been here. That's a fact. Nobody wants to talk about it, but we live it every day.
What policies would you like to see in place that would limit the amount of people that are there?
Well, listen, there are policies on the book in Congress already. They need to enforce the laws that are already on the books. These people are here illegally. Again, they're not seeking asylum. If they were seeking asylum, they would have gone to the first country that would have granted them asylum, which would have been Mexico. What I would like to see them do, if they're here illegally, they need to go back to their country of origin, and that's immediately. We have no allegiance to these folks, okay? We don't care where they're from.
Does the Democratic platform seem to satisfy your needs as far as what you'd like to see with our immigration policy?
What platform is that? They don't seem to have a platform. They seem to have open borders. Everybody can come here. Listen, people live in their homes. You have a home or you have an apartment. Do you have a front door on your home?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a back door?
Yes, I do.
Are they locked?
They're locked.
Are you locking because you're racist?
No.
You're locking because?
I'm protecting my 4 children that I have at home.
Exactly. Same thing with our borders, okay? It has nothing to do with racism. We have to protect our sovereignty.
Yeah.
We have to protect the citizens here. We have to protect our homeland. And so we have to close those borders.
Absolutely.
By any means necessary. Building a wall is an excellent idea. Look at the DNC convention. They built all kinds of walls and security. They have all kinds of police. They wanted to defund the police. They didn't want police protection. But listen, when it comes to them, it's always hypocrisy, built in.
It's always hypocrisy. So I wanted to share that with you here on Conservative Cat Cities 92.9. You can always text me at 309-451-9299. Yes. So the Chicago DNC, the worst thing about it was that it was in the city of Chicago. I think they honestly, if I had to guess, they put it in Chicago just so that way they could mock the people who suffer the most, the people with the highest crime rates, the people with the people who are quite literally living in the murder capital city or murder capital of the world. That's often what it's referred to as, the murder capital of the nation, at least. So Numbers USA, an immigration policy advocacy group. So Numbers USA, they spoke to Black residents while the Democrat National Convention took place in the city, with many expressing discontent with the party's policies on immigration and that have affected their community. Now, Chicago, here's the numbers, okay? 46,000 migrants since August of 2022 who were flown in, bussed in from Texas. That's all according to city data, 46,000 since 2022. Now, Chicago has spent approximately about $150 million to feed and house migrants. Now, these are very conservative estimates, folks, because this is all based off of city data. They're not going to tell you, extra programs or, cell phone programs. They're going to give them cell phones. They're not going to tell you about that, or the credit card programs. This is just the $150 million to feed and house the migrants, okay? With a single day costing about $667,000. So ahead of the DNC, Chicago had 5,000 beds ready for migrants and more in case of overflow. So they were housing these people. They opened up new migrant shelters in Chicago, probably specifically for this. And they prepped the beds for the illegal immigrants because, God forbid, the politicians who force illegal immigration on you deal with illegal immigration themselves. There's no doubt that illegal immigration hurts Black people the most. The left couldn't pretend to care less if their lives depended on it. They don't care about Black residents in Chicago. Why? Because it's the same racist Democrat Party back from the 1800s that enslaved Black people. I mean, that's just the facts. Okay, they don't care. They don't care. It's hypocrisy. They built a wall for themselves at the DNC, but they won't build a wall for the country to protect our sovereignty and protect us. But that won't stop them from claiming everyone else is the problem but them. Everybody else is the problem. You're racist for wanting a border. even though they're creating this mess. And it's gotten to a point where this first woman here said, "Hey, locking your doors is not racist. It's the government's most basic duty to protect the country's sovereignty that's laid out in the Constitution. Sovereignty, that's the ability to be by ourselves and have borders and remain a nation and create our own laws. That's what the founding fathers had intended. And it's basically the government's only job is to protect that sovereignty." Okay. And the blatant hypocrisy of the DNC to build their walls, their borders, their security, as they vow, you know, you will get none of that. You're going to get none of that. We're not going to build a wall. We're not going to secure our border. We're going to let thousands upon thousands of illegal immigrants in. They're bringing back that stupid botched border bill that nobody really likes, that enshrines into law quotas of how many illegal immigrants you have to allow just to jump over the border. And that's not very secure. This is all unsurprising. Just like this woman said in the video, I didn't get to it, but she said it's not fair that foreign nationals get to come here, get everything handed to them, when people who put their lives on the line to protect this country don't even get that. They get new cell phones, healthcare, and I gave a conservative estimate of $150 million just for food and some beds. That's not counting. I mean, I think that the what was it, $500 million in the Illinois budget, something crazy like that. Uh, Legislators say that that's what Governor J.B. Pritzker's intentions of raising this budget. They're going to use that money to subsidize the illegal immigration, the alien invasion. So it's deranged. It's evil. It's not wrong to want to have a border. It's not wrong to lock your house at night. Okay, lock your doors, lock your windows. Why are foreign nationals more important than citizens suffering in this country? Why is that? Could it be because it's more politically advantageous for them to prioritize foreign nationals? I think it is. I think that they are going to try to turn them into voters because it's becoming increasingly less reliable for the left to depend on the black vote. Black people are waking up to this and waking up to the racism. You've constantly put me down and kept me down. And you give me these little tiny child tax credits, pennies, quite literally pennies, uh, to keep me as a voter. And I'm getting pretty sick and tired of it. It's demeaning. It's disgusting. And then you'll tax me into oblivion and then throw me pennies through a child tax credit that really doesn't do anything for me. Black people are waking up to that. And this is why Democrats are trying to replace that vote with the foreign nationals because they're losing that vote. The third woman in this video said, I didn't play the whole clip. It's like 5 minutes long, but it's just a long clip of Chicago residents blasting the Biden Harris administration for this illegal alien invasion. The third woman said in this clip, this immigration crisis is so unprecedented that it's almost by design. This woman said that in Chicago. And the worst part is that neighborhoods are struggling the most. And they deal with this more than anyone. So I spoke with, actually, she wasn't a white person. She was a Brazilian woman, an immigrant herself. She was a legal citizen. She talked about how illegal immigrants were quite literally peeing on her lawn, stealing her Amazon packages. She would walk across the street, see individuals having sex in the park, out in the open, broad daylight, in front of children. There's kids with like little food carts, and they're like selling random food items. I mean, it looks like a third world country over there. One thing is for certain: if illegal immigration benefits anyone, it's definitely the Democrats and not the people of Chicago. I've got to take a quick break, but you're listening to Conservative Cat on Cities 92.9. When we come back, am I getting to Tim Walz yet? No. I'm so excited for that story because he's such a lying little pissant, and he's got another lie. I didn't think that this guy could lie anymore, and he lies about stupid things. Like, it's almost like a child, like lying about eating cookies when he clearly has like cookie crumbs all over his face. this is Tim Walz. We are going to get to this story though, and I'm sorry, but you probably didn't want to start your week off Tuesday early this week becoming enraged. But the story is going to enrage you because there's so many Constitution violations here by this elected official. I don't even know where to start. It's a story out of Arizona. I'll be right back. You're listening to Conservative Cat on Cities 92.9.
Cities 92-second news brought to you by
Tax and Accounting Plus. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping.
The Bloomington City Council votes 5-1 Monday to spend $452,178 for architectural and engineering work for the parking section of the new Connect Transit Transfer Center. The recent electrical vehicle fire in Normal raises safety concerns. Kevin Bessler reports.
The fire destroyed nearly 60 EVs waiting to be shipped to customers. The cause is still unknown. In South Korea, EVs are not allowed to park in underground apartment lots for fear of fire. It is another black eye for the industry. Auto analyst Alan Baum says expectations that the big three automakers were going to mass produce affordable EVs never materialized.
That kind of fell short. There have been some significant problems with both the automakers and some of their suppliers, and that has led to higher costs and therefore higher prices, which of course led to declines in consumer uptake.
Alan Schaefer, executive director of the Engine Technology Forum, says there will always be room in this world for gas-powered engines.
We think that the internal combustion engine still has plenty of useful life left and has a great opportunity to contribute substantially to helping reduce greenhouse gas and other emissions in the years ahead.
There are just over 111,000 EVs registered in Illinois.
News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Here's the Bloomington Normal forecast on Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the Cities 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayback. At Tax and Accounting Plus, they're rock stars, but instead of microphones and guitars, they use spreadsheets. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping. Tax and Accounting Plus offers effective accounting and bookkeeping to take your business to the next level. They're pros at preparing your financial records and reports, allowing you to focus on your business and become more profitable.
When we launched Remax Rising in 2016, we did it because we knew the real estate world was changing. Hi, this is John Armstrong. And on August 17th, it changed again. And our agents are trained to stay ahead of the curve. Buyers, we maximize your buying experience. And sellers, you have more options than ever. At Remax Rising, we will show you the way. Remax Rising, beating the market with more knowledgeable agents.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-345-2789. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-345-2789. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-345-2789. 800-345-2789 or biglou.com.
Give those Loud Bros a call and they'll make sure your garage floor is slip resistant and easy to clean with their garage floor coating service. At Loud Bros, they've perfected the art of elevating dull floors into captivating durable flooring. Their durable coating not only enhances the look, but it protects against stains and cracks. One might call it bulletproof. Loud Bros does not recommend shooting at the floor, but we totally support your Second Amendment right.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot, You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Cities 92.9 Sports.
Dansby Swanson hit a grand slam last night, one of 21 hits as the Cubs pounded the Pirates in Pittsburgh 18-8. In St. Louis, San Diego held off the Cardinals 7-4 as Manny Machado homered and drove in 3 for the Padres, and the White Sox blew an early lead and lost to Detroit 6-3. I got the Tigers at plus 200, turned my 20 into $60, so breakfast is on me. And it's cut down day in the NFL as teams will get to their 53-man opening day roster by 5 today. We'll bring you all the key Bears roster moves tomorrow. I'm Chris Murphy, Cities 92.9 Sports.
At Tax and Accounting Plus, they're rock stars, but instead of microphones and guitars, they use spreadsheets. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers, while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping. Find the experts at taxaccountingplus.com.
Mark Levin here, and I'm live on Cities weeknights at 5. You won't want to miss a minute of the show, so download the app and stream Cities all day long. Cities 92.9.
Yeah, I'm the cat. What's new, cat? I got cat class and I got cat style.
Woohoo! Hey, good morning. It's Service Data. We do appreciate you tuning in each and every day. Now, we got reports here about the Rivian. The Rivian fire. Fire hit the manufacturing plant, okay, at Rivian. There were no injuries reported. Now, videos, photos have come out. There have been multiple electric vehicles that were caught on fire outside the Rivian plant. They isolated the area. As you know, electric vehicle, solar panel fires are kind of hard to put out. Specifically with the electric vehicles, they can come back. The fire can come back. So everything is under control now. But you know, this is what happens. I mean, I hate to say it, and it's kind of convenient. I'm not saying anything, okay? There's obviously the suspicion is growing. Rivian wasn't doing well. They lost like $34,000 per vehicle. If they sold it, like they're not making any money. So people are like, oh, the insurance claim. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to speculate and say that that's the case. It's kind of convenient though, considering that they weren't doing very well. To begin with. But what really bothers me is how many more of these incidents have to happen in order for people to wake up and realize that, hey, if you rush into something and if the government subsidizes it and forces people into this industry and forces it to, it forces the market, you wind up with things like this happening. Okay, so the Olympia High School solar panels, I could go on. The Walmart rooftops, okay, the Augustana College's solar panels, these electric vehicles. Remember when the electric vehicles after the hurricane, the salt water had destroyed all the EVs there, and nobody could power them back up. The extreme cold, people were lined up outside of charging stations because the batteries just kept draining, and there's no EV infrastructure. Charging stations are very hard to come by. And here's the thing, you've saturated the market with all of these incentives. Oh, we're going to give you what was it, a $7,000 tax credit? The federal government, it was part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which makes no sense. And what subsequently happened, Ford raised the price on their EV trucks by like $8,000 as soon as the government said, hey, we're going to give you, the Americans, a tax credit of $7,000 if you go. They're forcing this market. And when you do that, you wind up with dangerous consequences. And I'm pretty sick and tired of it because now we've got children at risk. We've got people at that plant at risk. I know a lot of people who work there, and the government is incentivizing this too fast, too quickly, and you just need to let it breathe naturally. Let the market breathe. Let the innovators innovate. Okay, there's a reason why Tesla is at the top of its game right now, and I think it's kind of funny that they're all about the environment, the environment. The guy at the helm of electric vehicles, the guy who started it all, Elon Musk, has endorsed President Donald Trump. By the way, so if you're voting against Donald Trump because of the whole environment thing, you're silly because the guy who started electric vehicles and started that whole industry up with Tesla, um, he's endorsing that guy. So yeah, forcing this market and forcing electric vehicles on people, it's going to wind up with devastating consequences. Forcing solar energy on people is going to wind up with devastating consequences. And you're seeing that play out. I mean, I could go on. There was all kinds of solar fires. There was one in central Illinois, out in the field in the middle of somewhere, and they couldn't get the converter to or couldn't get the fire out because the converter kept reigniting the fire. Same is true with the electric vehicles. The fire just keeps reigniting. So these are very dangerous fires and they're very hard to manage. And like I said, you force this into the market, you force electric vehicles on people, you're going to wind up with dangerous consequences. And I wish the government understood that. So praying for anybody involved. Thank goodness the normal fire department and other crews were called out. I think that there were other crews called out, like even those who were off duty. They were like, hey, everybody on the ground right now. It was a ginormous fire. It was huge, huge. So big prayers for everybody involved. All right. I do want to get to this story here. And like I said, apologies if you didn't want to be enraged today. And I understand you might not want to start your week out that way, but there are too many constitutional violations by this elected official for me to not inform you about it. So unfortunately, that's what the story is all about. It's about constitutional violations. Government salaries are one of the largest expenses in how your tax dollars are used, by the way. So, the administration of District 87, a lot of your property tax dollars go to District 87, Normal West, or the Unit 5, these districts. Okay, that's a big portion of your property tax bill. You should know that a lot of those districts, despite decreasing enrollment, have not cut any of their administrative staff. Okay, and these administrators can get paid upwards of $200,000. Okay, there is a DEI administrative official director for both districts, and they get paid well into the 100,000 with six-figure salaries. Okay, so they get paid well. And your tax dollars, that is the largest chunk of how your tax dollars are spent. So government salaries are one of the largest expenses in how tax dollars are used, and transparency is one of the best ways to avoid misuse of those funds or corruption. Something like Tiffany Henyard out in Dalton, okay, where she used taxpayer funds to go take luxurious trips. Allegedly, she's being investigated by the FBI for that. So this is why states require public salaries to be public information. Okay, so the reason why I know there are a ton of people at District 87 who get paid well over $100,000 is because that is public information. And the public servant has no right to tell the public otherwise. Okay, so you get to know how much the city manager Pam Maurice makes. You get to know how much these people make because they're it's your money. You're the boss, right? You are in charge of them. You're paying them with your tax dollars. So, additionally, the First Amendment is such a sacred amendment that elected officials are not to dictate what grievances people can make at these city council meetings or school board meetings. Okay. They don't get to tell you what you get to talk about. You can go up there and curse at them for 3 minutes. They don't get to tell you that you can't do that. Okay. So If an unhappy constituent wants to get up there and use the entirety of their public comment period, that's political science 101. They can use the entirety of their public comment period of time. Now there are things like decorum, which is why your public comment time is limited. There's things that you have to, there's parameters you have to sign up. I think all of that's very unconstitutional. You should be able to get up at any city council meeting. I don't care how long it goes. And you should be able to talk about whatever you want for however long you want because you're the boss, right? So I don't get to walk into work and dictate how long my boss runs a meeting for, right? Just apply everything that happens in the public sector to the private sector, and you'll realize how ridiculous the public sector is in their operations. I don't get to walk into a meeting and tell my boss, hey, boss, you've only got about 3 minutes. That would be ridiculous, right? You would never do that in the private sector, but for some odd reason that happens in the public sector. So, like I said, anyone can literally curse their brains out, and a public servant has no right to stop that during their public comment period. However, knowledge of basic civics is not required to run for office. And this tyrant out of Surprise, Arizona, that's the city, Surprise, Arizona. This tyrant proved to the world why Surprise, Arizona is by no means a free speech capital of the world. They are anti-free speech there, and he's proved that with his tyrannical actions. The mayor had actually had someone arrested for daring to speak out against a raise for a city manager. I'll have to look up Pam Reese's raises. She's gotten raises over the course. She gets paid way too much money, folks. It's insane. She's got some pretty deep pockets there. Not to mention a lot of government officials. They get Rivians to drive. They get all kinds of things to drive and perks. Your legislators in the Capitol, your state legislators, and even your state senators, they get a per diem. They get $157 a day on top of like their $100,000 salary that was just also raised. They also received a raise in the midst of inflation and overtaxation. So I want to play this here for you. I don't have a whole lot of time to play it right now, but this is how the city council meeting went down. If you want to catch it, you got to catch it on the other side of the break. You're listening to Conservative Cat Cities 92.9. We'll be right back.
The news is brought to you by me, Ryan Skritzel of Skritzel Slabjacking. Here's some news. Most people wait until they trip and fall on sunken concrete before they call me. So call me before that happens, and I'll level with you on how to fix it.
The entire city's 92.9 listening area is under an excessive heat watch until 8 p.m. Heat indices up to 115 are expected. Oppressively hot and humid conditions will continue through tomorrow and Thursday, with heat index values remaining in the triple digits. However, we might see some relief just in time for the Labor Day weekend. It's being treated as a hate crime. An Illinois State University student reported an attack on campus at 3:20 a.m. on August 24th. The student was riding a scooter near the Bone Student Center when the student was approached by 4 individuals. ISU police shared this information in a crime advisory released yesterday afternoon. The Bloomington City Council voted last night 5-1 to spend nearly $500,000 for architectural and engineering work for the parking sections of the new Connect Transit Transfer Center. The wrecking crews could begin tearing down that 50-year-old parking lot at 202 West Market in Bloomington as soon as this spring, replacing it with potentially 3 levels of parking. News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Here's the Bloomington Normal Forecast on Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the city's 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayback.
You're never more than 20 minutes away from the latest Central Illinois weather forecast, guaranteed. Rain, shine, or snow, it's your dependable weather on Cities 92.9.
The Fox Business Report is from INB's new Lockbox Lite, making it easier for businesses to get their banking done.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Edgar Bronfman bows out of the fight over a media empire. Bronfman, whose family once owned the Seagram's liquor empire, threw in a revised $6 billion bid for Paramount Global last week and is now abandoning his pursuit, clearing the way for Skydance, which had reached roughly $8 billion merger agreement with Paramount last month. The Bronfman offer came during the window, which allowed Paramount to consider other offers, but Skydance, which is led by David Ellison, the son of Oracle founder Larry Ellison, pushed back, with lawyers delivering a letter calling for Paramount to end talks with Bronfman. And we get an update on the housing market when the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index for June comes out at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
You've seen the McLean County asphalt trucks improving the parking lots of businesses throughout McLean County. But what you may not be aware of is that they also do residential jobs. So if your driveway needs repairing, or if you're looking to finally pave that gravel and dirt path to your shed, schedule an estimate from McLean County Asphalt and Materials to stay out of the mud and ponds when the rain comes. With over 55 years of experience, you can improve the curb appeal of your home when you go to McLeanCountyAsphalt.com.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You've got style, your own look, your own way of doing things. And Fairbury Furniture and Lancer American Built Furniture lets you design your furniture to match your style and your home. Choose leather or fabric, your seat depth, arm, and leg styles. And it's built to last. Furniture changes the look of a room. Give your home a new look with a visit to Fairbury Furniture. Just take the itty-bitty drive to Fairbury Furniture, just 26 minutes away in downtown Fairbury.
At Tax and Accounting Plus, they're rock stars, but instead of microphones and guitars, they use spreadsheets. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers, while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping. Find the experts at taxaccountingplus.com.
Okay, so I promised you that I would look up. Thank you. Transparency is one of the best ways to avoid where she uses taxpayer dollars to go on luxurious trips, Las Vegas, strip joints, things like that. Tiffany Henyard is under investigation for those things. You don't want that happening. So I want to take a second. Let's play this clip. Here's this woman. She's at a city council meeting and she's discussing an agenda item, by the way, which is the city manager's salary. And she wanted to talk about the salary of the city manager, and she was subsequently arrested for doing so. This is in America. This is in Surprise, Arizona.
Entitled
Ms.
to
Massey,
request.
I've got to interrupt you here because.
Okay, are you
this-
going to stop
this-
the timer?
This is the public meeting forum that you agree to when you speak. And I want to read this to you, that there are oral communications during the city council meeting may not be used to lodge charges or complaints against any employee of the city or members of the body, regardless of whether such person is identified in the presentation by the name or by any other reference that tends to identify him or her.
That's all fine, well and good, but that's
So-
a violation
that-
of my First Amendment
Yeah, so
rights.
that's, well, this is your warning, okay?
Warning for what?
A warning for attacking the city attorney personally.
This is all factual information.
It doesn't matter.
You're violating my
This
First
is-
Amendment
this
rights.
is- This is what you agreed to when you first speaking. This is the form.
It is unconstitutional, Mayor Hall.
Well, it's not unconstitutional.
It is.
And if you're
The
gonna-
Supreme
if
Court
you're
has
gonna
upheld. I
continue-
could get up here and I could swear at you for 3 straight minutes, and it is protected
No,
speech
no, you
by the
can't.
Supreme Court. It is.
No, you
Why
can't.
don't you look at case law?
No, you can't.
I can.
So if you want to be.
Also, the chair is
if you
engaged
wanna
in
be
debate,
esc-
so
do you
point
want
of
to be
order.
escorted out of here? Do you want to be escorted out
You're
of here? or are you
violating my
gonna
First
stop
Amendment rights.
Talking.
You are violating my First Amendment rights.
That's your opinion.
It's not a
Okay.
matter of opinion.
Do you want to be escorted out, Ms. Massey? Because that's what's going to happen. And it's going to happen in the future also. Anytime you attack.
That's
any
why you changed the
staff member
rules.
Or any.
That's why you
city-
changed the rules.
This has been on the back of this form.
I understand,
all the
Mayor
time.
Hall, but that is completely unconstitutional.
No, it's
You're
not.
also engaging in debate, and so you should actually be
Anyway,
yielding the floor to somebody else
okay,
managing.
Chief, could you have somebody come down here and escort Ms. Massey out? of
Really, is
this
that
chamber?
necessary?
Yes, I
In
think
front
it
of my
is.
10-year-old daughter, you're going to escort me
That's
out
fine.
for expressing my
She
First
can go
Amendment
with you.
rights.
She can go with you.
I'm not leaving.
Well,
I'm expressing my first. Do not touch me. Do not put your hands on me. Do not put your hands on me. Come on now.
And the officer,
Do not put your hands.
brute force, grabs her by the arm and rips her from the podium and arrests her. This is absolutely wild. Skip Hall, the mayor of Surprise, Arizona, had a constituent arrested at a city council meeting for criticizing the city and expressing her First Amendment rights. Free speech is under attack everywhere, folks. You have to speak up now, or you can be next. We're going to continue with this story on the other side. There was a couple of points I wanted to make. She was speaking about the city attorney. I said city manager, the city attorney's compensation, which was an agenda item at the city council meeting, which is wild to me. But they're charging her with a fake crime, which is further proof of tyranny, by the way. How dare that officer, too? I don't care if he had marching orders. How dare that officer violate her rights like that? She was not disturbing the peace. The city was disturbing the peace. She better sue these tyrants into oblivion. I'll be back next. A few points on that. And then I do want to get to Tim Walz being caught in yet another lie.
Things are getting quite exciting here at Driscoll Motors as we receive the latest arrivals from GMC and Chevrolet. Hi, this is Pam at Driscoll's in Pontiac. Come visit us in person or online and witness the latest additions to our lot, as well as what's yet to come. We're here to assist you in finding the perfect vehicle and provide exceptional care for the one you already have. Feel free to drop in or explore our inventory at DriscollMotors.com. Driscoll Motors, your did it, done it, and still dealing dealer.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SERVE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text SERVE to 42424. That's SERVE to 42424.
Hey, you know what's worse than an accountant doing their own radio commercials? Well, being in business for yourself and doing your own books or having a family member do them. Has your wife or your mother told you lately to find somebody else to do your accounting because I'm not doing it anymore? Well, we can help. We specialize in accounting, payroll, and taxes for small business, ministries, and nonprofits. Again, this is Kim with SFI Accounting, and I'll stop doing my own commercials when you let me do your accounting. Go to sfiaccounting.com.
Cities 92-second news brought to you by
Tax and Accounting Plus. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping.
The entire city's 92.9 listening area is under an excessive heat watch today. Heat index values up to 115 are expected. That's a feels-like temperature. We might see some relief just in time for the Labor Day weekend. A bill aims to remove barriers for minorities to access clinical trials. Kevin Bessler reports.
Officials at the Cancer Action Network say clinical trials often suffer from a lack of diversity, with underrepresentation of certain demographic groups, such as minorities, women, and older adults. Allie Lopshire is the Government Relations Director.
This is a complex issue, and again, if we could legislate something like this away easily, we would have done it a long time ago.
Lopshire says in some cases, minorities don't speak English and miss out on clinical trials, and this legislation will correct that.
Provide culturally specific materials and make sure there's proper translation services for people when it comes to recruitment for trial participation.
The measure also requires the Illinois Department of Public Health to team with other research organizations to conduct a study to determine which demographic groups are underrepresented in clinical trials in Illinois. The bill passed the House. It will now be considered by the Senate.
News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Here's the Bloomington Normal Forecast on Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the city's 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayvack.
The weather is being brought to you by Dr. Justin Hillman of True Health Chiropractic and Massage on East Washington Street. If you're in pain, contact True Health today.
Cities 92.9 Sports.
Dansby Swanson hit a grand slam last night, one of 21 hits as the Cubs pounded the Pirates in Pittsburgh 18-8. In St. Louis, San Diego held off the Cardinals 7-4 as Manny Machado homered and drove in 3 for the Padres, and the White Sox blew an early lead and lost to Detroit 6-3. I got the Tigers at plus 200, turned my 20 into $60, so breakfast is on me. And it's cut down day in the NFL as teams will get to their 53-man opening day roster by 5 today. We'll bring you all the key Bears roster moves tomorrow. I'm Chris Murphy, Cities 92.9 Sports.
At Tax and Accounting Plus, they're rock stars, but instead of microphones and guitars, they use spreadsheets. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping. Find the experts at taxaccountingplus.com.
Good morning. Hey, it's President dedicated to The form instructs that such complaints should be submitted to the city manager during regular business hours. So you need a complaint box. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Whoa. The fact that the city council has indicated rules that prevent residents from lodging complaints against the employees of the city or members of the city council. That is literally the antithesis of the First Amendment. Okay. The whole point of free speech is to limit the government, not the people. Okay. The nerve of this man to claim someone is now not allowed to lodge complaints against him. This guy is saying that people aren't allowed to lodge complaints against him or his employees. That's like something you see in a dictatorship. This is very tyrannical. Does he not realize that the public holds every single right to hold these people accountable? You are the boss. You actually pay these people with your taxpayer dollars, okay? Pam Race gets paid $1,000. Okay, that's your money. That's my money, your money, okay? Does he not realize, this mayor here, his feelings being hurt means nothing to the Constitution? How can an elected mayor be this stupid? He doesn't even understand basic civics. He works for the public. He has no right to dictate what people can and can't say while they're up there at that podium. He is accountable to the people. Imagine, like I said, your boss telling your boss, "Oh, you're not allowed to lodge complaints against employees." What? You're not allowed to come into this meeting and run it for 20 minutes. You only get 3 minutes. Okay, this is craziness. That's how dumb and pathetic this whole thing is. You only get 3 minutes. I'm your boss. I pay you. Okay, so Massey responded by asserting her First Amendment right to free speech. Despite her protest, Mayor Hall called in law enforcement, removed her from the meeting, arrested her. The police officer detained Massey, physically restrained her, and escorted her out of the chamber. She was subsequently arrested and charged with third-degree criminal trespass, which implies unlawful presence on the property. The property she pays for, by the way, because that property wouldn't even exist without her taxpayer money. So she was unlawfully there after being asked to leave. That's what they're charging her with. It's a fake crime, and that's just part of this is tyranny. And shame on the officer, right? This is why I back the blue, but not all blue. Some bad apples, right? If you just follow the orders, it's ridiculous. Well, where else do the Constitution blatant violation? I'll be right back. Tim Walz was caught in debt.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go? I did it. I got the job. I can't believe it. I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom, I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. Feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Bloomington Normal's most complete radio news starts now with Fox Radio News on Cities 92.9, WRPW, Colfax, Bloomington Normal. It's 7 o'clock.
The news is brought to you by me, Ryan Skritzel of Skritzel Slabjacking. Here's some news. Most people wait until they trip and fall on sunken concrete before they call me. So call me before that happens, and I'll level with you on how to fix it.
The Bloomington City Council votes 5-1 Monday to spend $452,178 for architectural and engineering work for the parking section of the new Connect Transit Transfer Center. The recent electrical vehicle fire in Normal raises safety concerns. Kevin Bessler reports.
The fire destroyed nearly 60 EVs waiting to be shipped to customers. The cause is still unknown. In South Korea, EVs are not allowed to park in underground apartment lots for fear of fire. It is another black eye for the industry. Auto analyst Alan Baum says expectations that the big three automakers were going to mass produce affordable EVs never materialized.
That kind of fell short. There have been some significant problems with both the automakers and some of their suppliers, and that has led to higher costs and therefore higher prices, which of course led to declines in consumer uptake.
Alan Schaefer, executive director of the Engine Technology Forum, says there will always be room in this world for gas-powered engines.
We think that the internal combustion engine still has plenty of useful life left, and it has a great opportunity to contribute substantially to helping reduce greenhouse gas and other emissions in the years ahead.
There are just over 111,000 EVs registered in Illinois.
News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Here's the Bloomington Normal forecast on Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the Cities 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayback.
This weather report is lifted by DH Pace Garage Doors, residential and commercial garage doors and entry doors since 1926. Schedule service at dhpaceGarageDoors.com.
From the Johns in Lexington studio, don't let your insurance company void your car's warranty by using junkyard or imitation parts. After an accident, bring your car in to Johns in Lexington. Cities 92.9. Your hometown conservative talk show focused on bringing you exclusive stories from across the nation. She goes where mainstream media refuses. Brought to you by McLean County Asphalt. They've been repairing driveways for more than 50 years. Conservative Cat on Cities 92.9.
1, go! Welcome to the Red Kingdom. Yeah. Red Kingdom. Welcome to the Red Kingdom. Yeah. Red Kingdom. Welcome to the place where we run it. Place where we run it. My number 58 is the
Cities 92.9. My camera's down, so I'm not live on, well, I am live on YouTube and Rumble. You just can't see me right now. I'm working on the camera. But you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I go live every day, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Conservative Cat on YouTube and Rumble. So follow us on Rumble, Cities 92.9. Follow me on YouTube. That's the Conservative Cat Show. Just type that in your search bar. It's real easy to find. Before we took the break, I was telling you guys a little bit about this story. The council, you have to listen to all complaints, especially the ones you don't like. And the only recourse that they have is to resign these people after they've arrested this Massey woman. Okay, so the enforcement of this rule in Massey's case has led to questions about whether the city's actions inappropriately restricted her speech based on its content or viewpoint. Okay, so the enforcement of this is what's really crazy, because you uphold, as an elected official, you swear an oath to the Constitution, and this law enforcement officer and the mayor did not abide by the Constitution, and the Constitution takes precedent over your stupid little form. Sorry. So the council, like I said, they have to listen to all the complaints, especially those that they don't like. At best, they could probably implement this time, place, manner nonsense, but this was definitely the time. This was definitely the place. This was the manner. It was not even an unagendized item, as you would say. They literally approved the salary increase for the city attorney, which is what she wanted to talk about, this Massey woman. She wanted to talk about the salary increase at the meeting where they were, where they scheduled time to talk about it. And the mayor claimed that she was not allowed to discuss it, and that's a blatant misuse of public authority. And it should have never been granted to him. I don't know how he got elected, but this guy should resign immediately. The city owes Massey and all of the surprise Arizona residents an apology. There's actually a give and go. You can donate to Massey. It was really troubling to watch her arm bend in that way, and she was forced out of there. I hope that she sues these tyrants into oblivion. Okay, I wanted to get to this story. This is Tim Walz, and he's nothing but a lying little pissant parasite who embodies the perfect puppet for the powers that be. He is a puppet. So Walz, he lied about his military service. We know that. He lied about his wife going through IVF. That's a fertility treatment. She did go through a fertility treatment, just not IVF specifically. His wife fact-checked him on that. His own wife fact-checked him on that, and he still lied about it. So lying about your service is an insult to all those who have defended this nation, and lying about IVF is just really incredibly strange. This guy lies when there really is no reason to lie, okay? Governor J.B. Pritzker, he'll lie. He'll put out mistruths about, his child tax credit ending child poverty. Which isn't true, because if child poverty was ended, you'd hear economists talking about it. Nobody's talking about it because quite literally it equates to pennies a day. But there's reasons to lie for politicians, right? If it makes them look better. This guy is just lying to lie. He's a pathetic wannabe, and pathetic wannabes are incredibly insecure. And this is how tyrants are born, right? They're insecure, they're pathetic wannabes. And Subsequently, he has been caught in another lie. Well, Kat, what did he lie about this time? He claimed to have received an award from the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce when he first ran for House of Representatives in 1993. However, the chamber actually endorsed his opponent for his support of small business issues and asked him to remove the lie from his bio. So he lied about it in his bio and like is touting now that he received this award from the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce, and they were incredibly embarrassed, the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce, that is, to be affiliated with such an anti-business tyrant. Wow. So the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce, they had to write a letter to Tim Walz, his congressional campaign at the time, to remove an award he never received from them. Right. So he never received this award. He's touting this as if he received this award, and it's really kind of crazy. Um, so going on to clarify that the chamber had endorsed his opponent. So in the letter, the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce, they clarified that, hey, we didn't endorse you, but we did endorse your opponent. Is there anything that Tim Walz hasn't lied about? According to the Post Millennial, the latest controversy stems from an award that Walz claimed to have received from the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce when he was running for the House of Representatives in 1993. But he reportedly never honored. He was never honored by the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce for any of the work that he did. Walz did not support small business in that state. So the then Nebraska Chamber of Commerce president, Barry Kennedy, reminded Walz of that fact that, hey, we didn't endorse you. We did not award you anything. He had to remind him in a letter, and it was some pretty angry correspondence. And he sent him this letter back in November of 2006. Quote, here's the letter. I'm not going to draw conclusions about your intentions by including this line in your biography. I'm not going to draw a conclusion about your intentions. However, we respectfully request that you remove any reference to our organization as it could be considered an endorsement of your candidacy. It should be pointed out, however, that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has endorsed your opponent for his support of small business issues. So Minnesota outlet Alpha News found this letter this last week. So his lie has been exposed. Just like the IVF lie has been exposed, the stolen valor has been exposed. So at the time, his campaign said they did nothing wrong and it was just an error. It was just an error. Just like when he lied and said that, he carried weapons of war in combat. He made the comment like, oh, we shouldn't have weapons of war out on the streets or weapons like I carried in war or whatever. His comment, he made a reference to his service, and he lied about being in combat. That was just, he misspoke, guys. Okay. The corporate media is going to tell you that he misspoke. He misspoke. Now, this is just an error. This is just a typo, is what they said. And it was really meant to say in his biography, what they really meant to say was that he received recognition from the Nebraska Junior Chamber of Commerce. Two totally separate things. The then campaign manager insisted the error was just a typo. And look, the Harris Walz campaign said Walz is known to respond openly and off the cuff. And when it was asked about the discrepancy here, when questioned about Walz's lies, the Harris campaign said this. The Harris Walz campaign said, Governor Walz speaks the way real people speak, openly and off the cuff. The American people appreciate Governor Walz, tells it like it is, and doesn't talk like a traditional politician. They appreciate the difference between someone who occasionally misspeaks and a pathological liar like Donald Trump. Of course they make it about Donald Trump. Why wouldn't they make it about Donald Trump? Even though this has nothing to do with him. We just caught him in another lie. Little pissant, Tim Walz. Okay, so what? And Trump has never lied about endorsements, military service, or IVF. But everything is somehow Trump's fault for these people, as their literal campaign is just based off of not being Trump. These people can't function unless their TDS is running through their veins. They need their TDS. So Trump derangement syndrome, that is. So it's unclear what lie Walz is going to be caught in next. But he's already proven to be untrustworthy. He's a fraud. And he lies straight through his teeth, and he lies when you don't have to lie. Like, why would you lie about something like that? I'm sure he has plenty of other endorsements. Why lie about the Nebraska endorsement, the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce endorsement? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about your wife not going or going through IVF when she clearly didn't go through IVF? Why lie about your military service? I mean, if you say that you served in the military for 24 years, maybe you didn't see a combat zone, that's okay. People are going to respect your service. And it's not that I don't respect his service, I do. However, that doesn't exempt him from being called out for lying. You can still serve this country, but also lie and be a liar. This guy is a pathological liar. He is the pathological liar. Okay. Things I want to get to in this hour. Joy Reid makes this lunatic claim about Trump's economy before bragging that Kamala Harris is going to buy your vote. So we're going to play a clip from Joy Reid. We're also going to talk about Trump releasing this brilliant ad showing Kamala Harris debating herself on the economy. I think it's so great that, she's out there. She can't speak against her record or because, she's got to pretend that her record's great, but she also has to campaign against her record because everybody knows that the record sucks. So this is a really interesting ad that he released. Donald Trump yesterday, I didn't get to it, but he released this video honoring 13 heroes who were killed because of the botched Biden-Harris withdrawal. And he released this video. It was a very somber day yesterday because it was 3 years since the Afghanistan withdrawal where the suicide bomber killed 13 servicemen and women. So I'm going to get to all of that here in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll be right back. It's Conservative Cat. Find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Rumble. And hey, be sure to text me at 309-451-9299. I can answer your text and read them on air.
Today's 92-second news brought to you by
Tax and Accounting Plus.
Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping.
The entire city's 92.9 listening area is under an excessive heat watch until 8 p.m. Heat indices up to 115 are expected. Oppressively hot and humid conditions will continue through tomorrow and Thursday, with heat index values remaining in the triple digits. However, we might see some relief just in time for the Labor Day weekend. It's being treated as a hate crime. An Illinois State University student reported an attack on campus at 3:20 a.m. on August 24th. The student was riding a scooter near the Bone Student Center when the student was approached by 4 individuals. ISU police shared this information in a crime advisory released yesterday afternoon. The Bloomington City Council voted last night 5-1 to spend nearly $500,000 for architectural and engineering work for the parking sections of the new Connect Transit Transfer Center. The wrecking crews could begin tearing down that 50-year-old parking lot at 202 West Market in Bloomington as soon as this spring, replacing it with potentially 3 levels of parking. News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the city's 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayback.
It is a great day here at Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. In studio with me is Carrie Najira from the Village at Mercy Creek. Carrie, tell us a little bit about your experience with Cities 92.9.
Cities 92.9 is a big part of the community in Central Illinois, and that's what we're about. We want to be a part of the community, and cities listen to us and the message that we want to put out there. They came back with their proposal, and I was so impressed. All I said was, when can we start?
Am I pregnant? This is often the first question a woman needs answered when she comes to the Pregnancy Resource Center. What now is the second question. Living Alternatives Pregnancy Resource Center is committed to providing excellent care, compassionate support, and honest information to those facing pregnancy decisions in a safe and loving environment. Living Alternatives needs your help to encourage and support women in Bloomington Normal. Make your donation or find out more ways to get involved at pregnancyresourcecenter.org.
I'm looking for recommendations for someone to fix or replace my garage door. The motor isn't working and now it's off the track. Thank you in advance.
The Door Doctor is great.
The Door Doctor on Main Street is fabulous to work with.
I agree about the Door Doctor.
The Door Doctor has wonderful and helpful people.
When your garage door isn't working, contact the Door Doctor and they'll get your day back on track. Bookmark thedoordr.com.
Let us open doors to you. Call on the Door Doctor.
Cities 92.9 Sports.
Dansby Swanson hit a grand slam last night, one of 21 hits as the Cubs pounded the Pirates in Pittsburgh 18-8. In St. Louis, San Diego held off the Cardinals 7-4 as Manny Machado homered and drove in 3 for the Padres, and the White Sox blew an early lead and lost to Detroit 6-3. I got the Tigers at plus 200, turned my 20 into $60, so breakfast is on me. And it's cut down day in the NFL as teams will get to their 53-man opening day roster by 5 today. We'll bring you all the key Bears roster moves tomorrow. I'm Chris Murphy, Cities 92.9 Sports. Hey, it's Chris Murphy. Listen for sports every morning on Cities 92.9.
Chris Murphy, who the hell is he?
Well, I watch the Illinois and St. Louis sports for Cities and maybe give some gambling information.
This guy, Chris Murphy, complete lowlife.
Well, yeah, that's true. But Mark's just mad because I cover Illinois and St. Louis sports and not his Philadelphia Eagles.
Mr. Murphy, you creep.
For the teams you actually care about, listen for sports tomorrow morning on Cities 92.9.
You jerk, Chris Murphy.
I think somebody needs a nap.
At Tax and Accounting Plus, they're rock stars, but instead of microphones and guitars, they use spreadsheets. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers, while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping. Find the experts at taxaccountingplus.com.
Year of the cat. What's new, cat? I got cat class and I got cat style.
Woo-hoo! So after the past 16 years, yes, it's been but there's not many times but she would like to explain. Obama, and when it's bad, it's because of Republicans. Okay. What? Let's take a listen to this clip. And as always, folks, you're listening to Conservative Cat, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Here on Cities 92.9. You guys can always tune in via our app as well. And you can find me on Rumble by typing in your search bar Cities 92.9 or YouTube using Conservative Cat Show. Okay, let's take a listen to Joy Reid. Here we go.
Can you explain it to me? Explain it like I'm 5. Why do you want that person to be president? And don't tell me because you had more money when he was president. That's not possible. We were in a recession. We literally, the economy was trash because of COVID. And even before that, the economy was Obama's economy.
Okay. So I wanted to share that with you. And I know you're like, oh, Cat, I'm starting out my week enraged. Yes. How about the border? Okay. She wants to know, she goes, explain it to me like I'm 5. Why are you voting for Donald Trump? Okay. How about the border? Is not voting for the person responsible for the worst border crisis in American history good enough? I don't want to vote for the person who's responsible for the worst border crisis in American history. Is voting against the anti-American party not a valid enough reason for you? They're anti-Americans. Or how about voting for someone who is more likely to believe and be firm on world peace, no new wars, and ending the existing ones? Is that not good enough for her? Okay, well, I wonder what she would say about Barack Obama and the endless wars and George Bush's and like I said, she's not wrong. Republicans, they have terrible economies as well. But Donald Trump's economy was his and his alone, and it was great. Okay. And I don't think I need to tell you that because at that time we had energy independence, tax cuts, keeping men's out of girls' sports. How about voter ID? He's for voter ID. I would love to see some voter ID. That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump. That's why I'd walk over uh, broken glass to go vote for Donald Trump. Okay. Promoting free speech, carrying out the largest deportation operation in American history. I'm voting for that. Are any of those worthy for a vote? Yeah, of a vote? Yeah, I'd say so. Energy independence? I like that. Tax cuts? Yeah. Keeping men out of girls' sports? Yeah. In response, I would like her to explain. Joy Reid, explain like we're adults, okay? I don't need it explained to me like a 5-year-old. Explain to me why you're voting for Kamala Harris. And you can't claim that it has anything to do with her gender or skin color because that does nothing for this country and it has no place in a legitimate debate in 2024 and it's racist. She has yet to answer that question why she's voting for Kamala Harris outside of the fact that she's black and a woman. And it's safe to say that she can't discuss things like a rational person because she's sexist, she's racist, she's woke, and she's a liberal who doesn't comprehend basic economics. Because if she's going to claim that Trump's economic policies only work due to Obama's economy, she's reached levels of stupidity that I've not even seen in developmentally delayed toddlers, okay? I haven't seen this in developmentally delayed toddlers. She's so stupid. She's a lying propagandist who should have never been given a platform, but we're not living in logical times. This woman has a platform. The fact that she's so quick to blame Donald Trump for anything bad is rather telling, especially because she has the nerve to praise Barack Obama for his economic success. I mean, I don't think I need to tell you how silly that is. His economic success, obviously had nothing to do. And she notice how she conveniently leaves out and she doesn't mention GDP growth under Barack Obama was less than Carter's, and proceeds to claim that uh, one's bad record is evident that they will create an economic prosperity. Okay, so Kamala Harris is currently campaigning against herself. So with this, I mean, I don't even know what she's trying to say here. Kamala Harris is currently campaigning against herself, saying that the economy is bad. Kamala Harris is the one who says that the economy is bad, okay, and that she has to right the ship. Although she could write it right now if she wanted to. Like I said, she's 10 steps from the Oval. So she blames Donald Trump too for COVID in that clip, which makes no sense. With his tax cuts and his policies, it made a recovery possible and easier. If Sleepy Joe had been in office during that time, we all would have never recovered. We wouldn't have recovered like we did. We have recovered from the pandemic. Now, the tax cuts, the economic policies that Trump put in place created that economic prosperity economic prosperity that had nothing to do with Barack Obama. Okay. And I don't think I need to tell you that. Additionally, any economy recovery was essentially destroyed by the Biden Harris administration. We were on the way to a full economic recovery, but the Biden Harris administration came in day one and signed. I can't even tell you how many executive orders. I think it was hundreds of executive orders. So comparing Obama's economy is almost as bad as claiming Kamala didn't cast the tie-breaking vote that caused one of the worst inflation crises in this country has ever seen. Okay, that's the reason why we're dealing with crippling inflation. It's because of Kamala Harris, and she casted that tie-breaking vote for the Inflation Reduction Act. That being said, Reid has some nerve claiming that you're not allowed to vote based on how your dollar goes. She says, "Oh, explain it to me like I'm 5 why you're voting for Donald Trump." And you can't use the economy. She's got some nerve claiming that you're not allowed to vote based on how far your dollar goes, especially at a time when so many Americans are not able to make ends meet. I've told you several times the estimates now we're looking at $17,000 more a year for each American just to make ends meet. That's where we're at. For the past 3 years, the Biden Harris administration has made it to where you need $17,000 more just to keep up the lifestyle you did 3 years ago. So she's got a lot of nerve. Americans aren't able to make ends meet. She has more money. Joy Reid has more money than most people will ever see in their lifetime. So it takes a lot of nerve for a multimillionaire to lecture you about money and how you shouldn't vote with your dollar or vote with your wallet. Well, she's so out of touch. She doesn't even know what it feels like to worry about income. She doesn't even know what that feels like. Okay, she's a multimillionaire. And the fact that she has an authority figure is an authority figure on this issue really bothers me. She bashes the middle class and the poor because they want to vote with their wallet. They want to vote for their betterment. No, it's infuriating, but it's unsurprising. Anyway, we're still waiting for Reid to give one reason why she wants to vote for Kamala Harris and one reason why voting against your best interest besides skin color and sex, right? She wants you to vote for Kamala Harris, but she has yet to explain why that would be in your best interest outside of the skin color and the sex, okay, of Kamala Harris. Give me one reason to vote for Kamala Harris, seriously, and explain it to me like an adult, and like I'm an adult. Subsequently, since this is so hard for the left to explain, there are no good reasons for Kamala Harris to become president or to be president. There's just none. So I've got to take a quick break. But when we come back, I'm going to chat a little bit about Kamala Harris's campaign. It's very unprecedented, very unique. Firstly, she's received 0 votes from people. Secondly, she's campaigning against the mess she created. Okay, these are very unique, unprecedented times we're living in. She's campaigning against the mess she actually created. And I've got this clip. It's a Trump ad that he released, and it features Kamala Harris actually debating herself and her campaigning against her record. She's actually campaigning against her record in this clip. I'll be back with that next.
The news is brought to you by me, Ryan Scritchlow of Scritchlow Slabjacking. Here's some news. Most people wait until they trip and fall on sunken concrete before they call me. So call me before that happens, and I'll level with you on how to fix it.
The entire city's 92.9 listening area is under an excessive heat watch today. Heat index values up to 115 are expected. That's a feels-like temperature. We might see some relief just in time for the Labor Day weekend. A bill aims to remove barriers for minorities to access clinical trials. Kevin Bessler reports.
Officials at the Cancer Action Network say clinical trials often suffer from a lack of diversity, with underrepresentation of certain demographic groups, such as minorities, women, and older adults. Allie Lopshire is the government relations director.
This is a complex issue, and again, if we could legislate something like this away easily, we would have done it a long time ago.
Lopshire says in some cases, minorities don't speak English and miss out on clinical trials, and this legislation will correct that.
Provide culturally specific materials and make sure there's proper translation services for people when it comes to recruitment for trial participation.
The measure also requires the Illinois Department of Public Health to team with other research organizations to conduct a study to determine which demographic groups are underrepresented in clinical trials in Illinois. The bill passed the House. It will now be considered by the Senate.
News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Here's the Bloomington Normal forecast on Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the Cities 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayback.
You're never more than 20 minutes away from the latest Central Illinois weather forecast, guaranteed. Rain, shine, or snow, it's your dependable weather on Cities 92.9.
McLean County Asphalt and Materials has been helping businesses and homeowners improve their curb appeal since 1964. Whether you're in need of mulch, decorative stone, Unilock papers, or granite boulders, the team at McLean County Asphalt and Materials is here to help you. You don't need to have a big truck or know someone who does, because McLean County Asphalt and Materials will deliver the material right to your job site. Get started now with their materials calculator at McLeanCountyAsphalt.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Imagine a world where animals and humans coexist in harmony, where wild animals thrive, habitats are protected, and marginalized communities are empowered. At International Animal Rescue, this is our vision. Our holistic, community-led projects not only rescue animals, but also protect and replenish precious habitats, creating a better future for us all. But we can't do this without you. Show your support now and help keep the wild, wild. Visit internationalanimalrescue.org.
This hour of Conservative Cat is brought to you by Annie's Eats. Enjoy scratch-made sides, including Brandon iron beans and hand-cut fries. Call ahead for pickup. See their full menu of their award-winning barbecue at annieseatsblono.com. The Fox Business Report is from INB's new Lockbox Lite, making it easier for businesses to get their banking done.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Edgar Bronfman bows out of the fight over a media empire. Bronfman, whose family once owned the Seagram's liquor empire, threw in a revised $6 billion bid for Paramount Global last week and is now abandoning his pursuit, clearing the way for Skydance, which had reached roughly $8 billion merger agreement with Paramount last month. The Bronfman offer came during the window, which allowed Paramount to consider other offers, but Skydance, which is led by David Ellison, the son of Oracle founder Larry Ellison, pushed back, with lawyers delivering a letter calling for Paramount to end talks with Bronfman. And we get an update on the housing market when the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Home Price Index for June comes out at 9 a.m. Eastern. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
At Tax and Accounting Plus, they're rock stars, but instead of microphones and guitars, they use spreadsheets. Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers, while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping. Find the experts at taxaccountingplus.com.
Hey, good morning. And the and she said, give me about money, and she says, "Oh, outside of the economy, why would you be voting for Donald Trump? Because the economy was Barack Obama's anyway." Are you kidding me? You have some nerve lecturing me about talking about about my best interest in voting with my wallet. You're a multimillionaire who has never had to worry about income ever. So I'm on YouTube. You can find me YouTube Rumble. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's real easy. Just type it in your search bar, Conservative Cat show, and then you'll be able to find me. So 2 major reasons why Kamala Harris's campaign is very unprecedented and unique. It's first, she's received 0 votes. She was selected. I've given this example several times. You're running a marathon. The guy pulling ahead in first place is Donald Trump. The guy pulling behind in second place is Joe Biden. The last lap of the marathon, Kamala Harris comes in and subs in for Joe Biden. That's called cheating, folks. They've already cheated the election. Okay, I don't need November 5th to come, 2024, to say that the election was stolen. It's stolen already. Okay, they cheated with this undemocratic process. So secondly, This is unique and unprecedented because she is campaigning against the mess she actually created. Yes, so it's unclear why the power selected her, given how like just abysmal her record is. The worst thing that I think Kamala Harris has done as a prosecutor was go after people who filmed Planned Parenthood individuals admitting on tape that they were selling baby parts, which is a felony, by the way. Kamala Harris didn't go after the people selling the baby parts. She went after the people who videotaped the people saying that they were selling baby parts and admitted that. That just tells you what type of person she is. She has an abysmal record, but probably has the powers that be chose her out of convenience, okay, rather than competence, okay, obviously. So the reason your wallet is empty is because of her tie-breaking votes. And because she's running for president, she can no longer deny that reality and is forced to face the mess that she's caused. So that's why she's campaigning against her own record as vice president, as sitting vice president. This is exactly why she's refusing to do any sit downs, any interviews. She may or may not back out of this debate. There's all kinds. CNN is saying that Donald Trump is backing out of the debate. I'm going to get to that here in just a little bit, but Donald Trump is not backing out of this debate. He wants to do the debate. Kamala Harris is coming in and de facto backing out of the debate because she's trying to change the rules. Okay, so and she doesn't do the interviews or the debates because we know she can't put two sentences together. But it's also because she has nothing to stand on. Right? She has no record. She's done nothing good in her political career. You know, she tweeted out this morning and I just like got sick to my stomach reading it. She goes, "From the courthouse to the White House." See, this is all about her. This is about her. It's not about you, the American, right? The Illinoisan. It's not about you. Uh, Kamala Harris said that people don't have much money left at the end of the month to make ends meet, and you don't have enough money at the end of the month to just do the bare minimum. Okay, make ends meet. Voters, Kamala said that, not me. Kamala said that. Voters never imagined the cost of bread, ground beef being double of what they were 3 years ago. Um, they're double. So a loaf of bread costs 50% more today. And that's called Bidenomics, folks. Okay. And never forget this inflation is due to her groundbreaking votes on the Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan Act, where the government just spent all kinds of money. Okay. It's not even a matter of opinion. This has everything to do, bread being up 50% has everything to do with her tie breaking votes in the Senate as the sitting vice president. Now, I want to share this Trump campaign ad with you because it's taken social media by storm because it's quite hilarious. It's Kamala Harris debating herself. Let's take a listen. Here we go.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
So we are very proud of Bidenomics, you know, and there's this back and forth, and it's like in the actual clip, like in the actual ad itself, it's like a back and forth of her debating herself. The ad shows Kamala Harris debating herself with previous comments on the economy under her leadership with Biden. Bidenomics is working, right? But now she has to debate herself because she's come back and said that the economy sucks. She says that the cost of living is too high, that bread is up 50%. So in a late night speech at the Democrat National Convention, President Joe Biden, he was like in the midnight hour. They really did not want to get that guy out there. So they put him in like, you know, the time slot where the least amount of people would see him. President Joe Biden thanked Kamala Harris for her work in passing the Inflation Reduction Act. Guess who tied the caste-breaking vote? Vice President, soon to be President Kamala Harris is now the law of the land. This is what Biden said, referring to the 730 million or billion, sorry, excuse me, billion. That's different. 730 $739 billion spending spree. That's what's included in the Inflation Reduction Act. In the Inflation Reduction Act, there was also $7,000 EV tax credits. You're going to have a hard time purchasing a Rivian with that tax credit money, by the way, because they're all on fire. But the Senate passed it 51-50 because Harris cast the tie-breaking vote in August of 2022. This is contributing to inflation. That's $739 billion that the government is spending. Yeah, money means nothing when you spend it like that. But the legacy of Harris's role in passing the legislation has changed as the efforts of inflation have become evident, or the effects of inflation have become evident. This is from the post millennial, from the prices of homes to the cost of gas. Okay, so she is trying to backtrack her role in passing this legislation, or they'll try to gaslight you and tell you that inflation is not due to the Inflation Reduction Act. I'm sorry, but $739 billion spending spree is what causes inflation. So inflation has not been this bad since 1970 in the era of Jimmy Carter. Rent, for example, has increased 13%, new mortgages by 36%. The cost of baby food has shot up 13%, frozen vegetables up 14%. This is according to the American Tax Reform, who also said food staples like bread, butter, flour, breakfast cereals have all jumped up in price since Harris helped push the Inflation Reduction Act into law. This is a contributing factor to inflation. The other one would be the American Rescue Plan Act. Those are both tie-breaking votes she had a hand in by Harris that contributed to this massive inflation we're dealing with. Although inflation on some goods and services has declined in the last 2 years, the Biden-Harris legacy for the last 4 have been one of massive, and this is just massive inflation. When Joe Biden leaves office, he's going to be known as the president who caused massive inflation. Fox News cited examples of mortgage rates climbing up by 156% under Biden-Harris. Okay, 156%. That's how much mortgages have climbed. Other examples documented by the American Tax Reform Organization include prices of gas up 35%, energy up 33%, transportation up 28%, eggs 53%, baby food 30%, frozen vegetables 28%, bread 24%, milk 17%. So these are not winning campaign strategies. Okay, which is why you often see her in battle with herself. Okay, she's kind of unclear if her record is a winning one or a losing strategy. Okay, so she's kind of like battling herself and she can't really decide if she should fight against her record or tout her record. Her campaign is very desperate to keep her away from the public at all costs because she has to answer to this, and she's almost as bad as Biden hiding from the public. It's unclear whether she'll break out in deranged laughter when she's in front of people, or if she tosses word salad, says things like, "Oh, I love a yellow school bus." Like, that's kind of weird. Or just repeat the same phrase and unburdened by what has been. Okay. That's so we have no idea what we're going to get with Kamala Harris, right? She's just as bad as Joe Biden. In comparison, Donald Trump is proud of his record and he's running on that. Okay. He doesn't need these fraudulent job reports. You guys remember that story where they cooked the books and they lied about the number of jobs, which we knew that for a long time, folks. At least you listening to the Conservative Cat Show, you knew that for a long period of time because I told you those were all bounce back jobs from COVID. Those were jobs given to foreign nationals and they were government jobs. There were no new jobs created under Joe Biden's administration. Zero. None. Practically, right? They're all government jobs. Whatever jobs he created were all government jobs. And they're not good jobs. You just made government less efficient and then gave people more jobs. So, like I said, Donald Trump, he doesn't need to cook the books or fraudulently alter. This is fraud. What they did, they altered the jobs report, the Biden-Harris administration, because his presidency actually created economic prosperity, okay, and not disaster. At this point, it wouldn't be surprising if she backed out of the debate because she has to avoid the public. Kamala Harris, she has to. And most likely they're going to back out of the debate and then they're going to blame Donald Trump. Oh, wait, yes, this is exactly what they're doing. They're already laying the groundwork for doing just that. Her political career makes her unelectable, and she knows that. She knows that her political career makes her unelectable. That's why she is de facto backing out of this debate. But CNN is going to make up this new hoax suggesting that Trump wants to back out of the debate. That's not true. Trump doesn't want to back out of the debate. I've got the clip here next on Conservative Cat, Cities 92.9, the news and talk, Bloomington Normal. I'll be right back.
Cities 92-second news brought to you by
Tax and Accounting Plus.
Focus on growing your business and servicing your customers while Tax and Accounting Plus handles your payroll and bookkeeping.
The Bloomington City Council votes 5-1 Monday to spend $452,178 for architectural and engineering work for the parking section of the new Connect Transit Transfer Center. The recent electrical vehicle fire in Normal raises safety concerns. Kevin Bessler reports.
The fire destroyed nearly 60 EVs waiting to be shipped to customers. The cause is still unknown. In South Korea, EVs are not allowed to park in underground apartment lots for fear of fire. It is another black eye for the industry. Auto analyst Alan Baum says expectations that the big three automakers were going to mass produce affordable EVs never materialized.
That kind of fell short. There have been some significant problems with both the automakers and some of their suppliers, and that has led to higher costs and therefore higher prices, which of course led to declines in consumer uptake.
Alan Schaefer, executive director of the Engine Technology Forum, says there will always be room in this world for gas-powered engines.
We think that the internal combustion engine still has plenty of useful life left, and it has a great opportunity to contribute substantially to helping reduce greenhouse gas and other emissions in the years ahead.
There are just over 111,000 EVs registered in Illinois.
News on the air, on the web, on your app, and on Alexa. I'm Tom Davis.
Here's the Bloomington Normal forecast on Cities 92.9.
An excessive heat warning for this afternoon. It's going to be sunny and hot with a high of 96 and a heat index of 110 with a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. From the Cities 92.9 Severe Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Beth Hayback.
The weather is being brought to you by Dr. Justin Hillman of True Health Chiropractic and Massage on East Washington Street. If you're in pain, contact True Health today.
When you're trying to figure out what to eat for lunch or dinner, you have plenty of options. This radio ad can't share the mouth-watering aroma coming from the smokers at Annie's Eats or the tangy taste of their homemade sauce that hits the tip of your tongue. But know when you start thinking of filling your belly, you're now thinking about that award-winning barbecue that you can only get at Annie's Eats. Drool over their menu and place your order for pickup when you head over to annieseatsblono.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SERVE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SERVE to 42424. That's SERVE to 42424.
You don't need to be a member at Darnell's Gunworks and Ranges to practice your marksmanship skills. But if you like saving money, it's a really good idea to become a member today. For over a century, Darnell's Gunworks and Ranges has been the go-to destination for firearm enthusiasts just like you. Take advantage of veteran and first responder discounts and be sure to check out the benefits of a family membership at Darnell's Gunworks and Ranges. When it comes to firearms, experience matters. Learn more at DARNALLS.com.
Cities 92.9 Sports.
Dansby Swanson hit a grand slam last night, one of 21 hits as the Cubs pounded the Pirates in Pittsburgh 18-8. In St. Louis, San Diego held off the Cardinals 7-4 as Manny Machado homered and drove in 3 for the Padres, and the White Sox blew an early lead and lost to Detroit 6-3. I got the Tigers at plus 200, turned my 20 into $60, so breakfast is on me. And it's cut down day in the NFL as teams will get to their 53-man opening day roster by 5 today. We'll bring you all the key Bears roster moves tomorrow. I'm Chris Murphy, Cities 92.9 Sports.
Good morning. It is terrible. Then I'm not going to debate because that's going to make me look cheap. Here we go.
Agreement was that it would be the same as it was last time. In that case, it was muted. I didn't like it the last time, but it worked out fine. I mean, ask Biden how it worked out. It was fine. And I think it should be the same. We agreed to the same rules and same specifications. And I think that's probably what it should be. But they're trying to change it. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate. Okay?
She doesn't want to debate. Okay, so Kamala Harris is terrified of talking policy. That's why she's trying to change the rules of the upcoming debate. She knows her policies are horrible. She wants to interrupt President Donald Trump. She wants to make it to where the mics are open, where there's hot mics, so that way she can get this, like, I'm speaking viral moment, right? She's trying to change the rules. I guarantee you it's because her team wants and expects Donald Trump to interject her and interrupt her, because that's what happens when you have open mic debate. And she is teeing it up for an I'm speaking viral moment, right? I'm speaking. And they want, her Kamala Harris slay queen viral moment. You don't get to change the rules, okay? So this CNN is trying to put out this hoax that Trump wants to change the rules for the debate. That's not true. He goes, I'm open to anything. Okay, he goes, but we agreed on the same rules that we had for the previous debate when I was debating Joe Biden, asked Joe Biden about those rules. He said it was fine. It turned out to be a fine debate. Now she's coming in and she's wanting to change the rules. And that's not how life goes. You don't get to make the debate a circus because you want to divert people's attention away from the real policy debate. Okay, that's what she wants to do. She wants the mic open so that way it diverts people's attention from policy. If Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are going at it with each other, and Kamala Harris has her viral moment of I'm speaking. No, sir, I'm speaking, right? Then the policy is going to get lost. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here on Conservative Cat Cities 92.9. The worst thing about, I did want to say this and close with this, those 13 lives lost in Afghanistan yesterday, 3 years. What they rep. Right. All right, guys, blessed day. Bye-bye. Love you. Stick around.
This portion of the show is served up by the Long Branch again in Cooksville.